Welcome to my channel. Try to hear the latest story.
She adjusted the strap of her sundress in front of the full-length mirror while I finished buttoning my shirt on the couch. Sunlight poured through the open balcony doors of our beachfront condo, carrying the salt of the ocean and the faint music from the boardwalk below. It was Saturday evening, the night of the big summer luau her company was hosting for clients, and we'd spent the afternoon lounging by the pool like we always did when the weather turned perfect. "You look beautiful," I said, meaning every word. The dress was new, a soft coral color that made her tan glow. She'd spent an hour curling her hair into loose waves, and the way the light caught them made my chest tighten with the same quiet gratitude I'd felt for the past 4 years. She didn't answer right away. Her fingers paused on the strap, then dropped to her side. In the mirror, her eyes flicked to my reflection behind her. "Every time I look at you lately," she said, voice low and almost thoughtful, "I catch myself wondering if you're really the most exciting future I could have." The words landed softly, the way a wave pulls back from the shore before you realize how far the water has gone. I sat very still, shirt half-buttoned, waiting for the laugh or the quick, "kidding," that usually followed her sharper remarks. It didn't come. I swallowed. "What did you just say?" She turned then, grabbing her small woven clutch from the dresser. "You heard me. It's just something that crosses my mind sometimes. Don't turn it into a thing. We're going to be late." She walked past me toward the door, sandals clicking on the tile, leaving a trail of coconut sunscreen in the air. I stayed on the couch a moment longer, staring at the spot where she'd stood. The room felt suddenly larger, the ocean louder. Most exciting future. 4 years of shared rent, joint vacations, late-night talks about marriage and kids, and that was the quiet measurement she carried around in her head. Every time she looked at me, I stood up slowly, buttoned the rest of my shirt, and followed her out. The luau was held on the resort lawn overlooking the water. Tiki torches, live ukulele, trays of Mai Tais circulating among her colleagues and their wealthy clients. I smiled when introduced, shook hands, made small talk about real estate markets and surf conditions. Inside, everything had gone quiet. Like someone had turned down the volume on my life, I watched her move through the crowd. She laughed easily with a tall guy in linen who kept leaning in to hear her over the music. Her hand brushed his arm when she spoke. She glowed in a way I hadn't seen directed at me in months. The phrase looped in my head, steady as the drums from the stage. Most exciting future. An hour in, I found her by the fire pit, sipping something bright pink. "I'm heading home," I said. She turned, eyebrows raised. "Already? We haven't even eaten yet." "I'm not feeling great." It wasn't a lie. My stomach felt lined with sand. She sighed, glancing back toward the group she'd been talking to. "Fine. I'll catch a ride with Lauren later. Text me when you get home so I don't worry." I nodded, turned, and walked up the lit path to the parking lot. The drive back was only 15 minutes, but it felt endless. When I stepped into the condo, the silence hit differently. It wasn't peaceful anymore. It was waiting. I didn't sit down. I went straight to the hallway closet and pulled out my old Navy suitcase and the backpack I used for weekend trips. I started in the bathroom, my toothbrush, contact solution, the prescription I kept in the drawer. I left the fancy face serum she'd bought me for Christmas in our bedroom. I opened my side of the dresser. Folded t-shirts, shorts, the button-downs I wore to work. I left the linen shirt she'd picked out last summer and insisted looked perfect on me. I took my laptop from the desk, my external drive, the small stack of notebooks where I sketched app ideas after hours that I moved carefully, quietly, the way you do when you're trying not to wake a part of yourself you're about to leave behind. In the kitchen, I paused at the fridge. Photos of us were stuck there with magnets shaped like pineapples. Maui last year, Big Sur the year before. I didn't touch them. On the counter, I found a notepad we used for grocery lists. I wrote, "I heard what you said. You deserve an exciting future. I'm stepping aside so you can find it. He is on the hook. Please don't reach out. May took a photo of the note, set my condo key on top of it, and wheeled the suitcase to the door. One last look around, the balcony where we'd watch sunsets, the couch where we'd fallen asleep during movie marathons. And I drove inland until I found a small motel off the highway, the kind with exterior walkways and flickering vacancy signs. The room smelled faintly of chlorine and old carpet, but it was clean and quiet. I dropped my bags, sat on the edge of the bed, and waited for the tears or the rage. Neither came. Just a deep, exhausting clarity. My phone buzzed. A text from her. Home already? Everything okay? Then, 20 minutes later, hello? Then, this is ridiculous. We can talk when I get back. I opened her contact, scrolled to the bottom, and selected block. The screen went dark. I set the phone face down and lay back on the stiff comforter, listening to a truck rumble past on the highway. The next days blurred into routine. I worked remotely from coffee shops and the motel desk, headphones on, code flowing easier than it had in months. I found a furnished one-bedroom sublet on the north side of town. Quiet building, ocean view blocked by palms, but affordable and available that week. Moving in took one trip. I bought an air mattress, a folding table, and a single lamp. I didn't hang anything on the walls. The emptiness felt honest. I ran every morning along the coastal trail, pushing until my lungs burned. I cooked simple things, eggs, rice, grilled fish. I read books I'd been meaning to get to for years. I slept better than I had in a long time. 3 weeks in, the first message arrived from a mutual friend, Ryan, who surfed with both of us. Hey man, haven't seen you out lately. You good? I waited a day, then replied, doing well, just focusing on work and some personal projects. Appreciate you checking in. He wrote back quickly. Cool. Ran into her yesterday. She seemed pretty shaken. Asked if I'd heard from you. I typed. We're not in contact anymore. I'd prefer to keep it that way. He sent a thumbs up and didn't push. A week later. Sarah? Closer to her than to me. Texted. Can we talk? She's not okay. Says it was just stress talking that night and you took it too seriously. I replied. She said what she meant. I took it at face value and made the choice that was healthiest for me. I'm not interested in discussing it further. I muted the thread. More reports drifted in indirectly. She'd moved out of the condo temporarily, staying with her sister. She'd asked multiple people if I was seeing anyone. She looked tired. She kept saying she never thought I'd actually leave. I filed each update away like weather from another island. Then came the email from an address I didn't recognize, but the preview line gave it away. I know you probably won't read this, but I need to say I'm sorry. That night was the worst version of me coming out. I was anxious about the event, feeling old, and I lashed out in the ugliest way. You were never settling. You were my safe place and I ruined it. I miss you every day. The condo feels wrong without you. I can't listen to half our playlists. Please, just one conversation. I'll meet you anywhere. I read it twice, saved it to a folder labeled past, and marked the email as spam. A month later, her best friend Mia messaged me on Instagram. This is super awkward, but she's staying on my couch and she's struggling hard. Therapy, crying all the time, barely eating. I know you're hurt, but maybe just a quick call would give her some closure? I responded politely. I'm sorry she's having a tough time, but contact between us isn't healthy for me. I wish her healing and happiness. Truly. I restricted the account. The final voicemail came from a blocked number I didn't recognize until I played it. Her voice was hoarse, background noise of waves and wind. She must have been on the beach near our old place. I can't believe you're doing this. For years and you just disappear? I said one stupid thing, and you punish me by erasing everything? You were supposed to stay and show me I was wrong. Instead you ran. You're colder than I ever imagined. I hate that I still check my phone hoping it's you. I hate that I still love you. The message cut off. I saved it, not out of sentiment, but as quiet confirmation. The blame, the expectation that I should have absorbed the blow and stayed to soothe her regret. It was all there, unfiltered. I deleted the voicemail the next morning. 6 months passed. I'd been promoted after shipping a feature my team had been stuck on for a year. I'd furnished the apartment slowly, bookshelves, a real bed, art prints from local weekend markets. I'd started surfing again, early mornings with a new group of people who didn't know my history. My runs got faster. My laugh came easier. I was at the annual design conference downtown, giving a short talk on user retention strategies, when I saw her across the hotel lobby afterward. She wore a navy blazer, hair pulled back, clutching a conference tote like armor. She looked thinner, eyes scanning until they landed on me. She approached hesitantly. "Hey," she said, voice small. "I didn't know you'd be speaking. You were really good up there." "Thanks." An awkward beat stretched. "I've been hoping we could talk sometime. Clear the air. I've done a lot of work on myself, therapy, reading, everything. I know what I said was unforgivable, but it wasn't the truth of how I felt about us. I was scared of getting older, of routine, and I sabotaged the best thing I had." I listened, hands in my pockets, expression calm. "I appreciate you saying that," I said, "but I heard the truth that night, and it set me free to build something better for myself. I'm genuinely content now. There's nothing left to discuss." Her face crumpled slightly. "So that's it? For years and we're strangers. We're people who shared a chapter. That chapter ended. I'm grateful for the good parts, but I'm not going backward." She searched my face for cracks, for the man who once would have moved mountains to keep her happy. She didn't find him. "You really don't feel anything anymore?" she whispered. "I feel peace," I said, "and I'm protective of it." I glanced at my watch. "I've got a lunch meeting with my team. Take care of yourself." I walked away, weaving through the crowd of badges and laptops, toward the restaurant upstairs where my colleagues waited with congratulations and inside jokes. I didn't look back. Outside the tall windows, the city sparkled under midday sun. My phone buzzed with a new message from someone I'd met surfing last month, asking if I was free for dinner this weekend. I smiled, typed yes, and slipped the phone into my pocket. The past was a closed book on a shelf I no longer visited. The future, quiet, self-built, and wide open, was finally fully mine.